Have you ever woken up in the middle of the night, no alarm, no noise, just suddenly awake? Maybe you brushed it off as stress or a sleepless night. But what if I told you it was something far deeper, something sacred? Because there is a mysterious window of time between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. when heaven seems closer and the soul more alert than ever before. Have you ever found yourself awake between the hours of 3 and 5 in the morning, and you don't know why? No, alarm went off, nothing startled you, everything around you is still, and yet your eyes open, your spirit stirs, you're awake for no apparent reason. It doesn't feel like a simple bathroom break or a moment of discomfort. It feels deeper, like something within you is responding to something unseen. Most people write this off as anxiety, stress, or an overactive brain still sorting through the day. But what if it's not that at all? What if waking up at this hour isn't an accident, but an invitation? There is something sacred about the stillness of the early morning hours. When the world sleeps and all is silent, something happens. The noise of the day is gone. The distractions are muted. And in that quiet, that rare, uninterrupted quiet, something begins to speak. Throughout history and across faith traditions, these hours have been recognized as spiritually significant. In Scripture, many of God's people cried out to Him during the night watches. It was in those moments when the world was asleep that revelations came, visions were received, and divine guidance poured in. Why do so many people wake up during this time, and why does it often happen repeatedly? Perhaps it's because something deep inside us is finally free to speak. The soul is more alert. The mind, unburdened by the chaos of daily life, begins to process what truly matters. Forgotten dreams rise to the surface. Buried thoughts emerge. Unfinished decisions resurface. Most people respond to this moment in one of two ways. They either fight to fall back asleep, or they grab their phones and scroll to escape the stillness. But what if instead of trying to drown it out, you leaned into it? What if waking up wasn't a disruption, but a gift? There's something about this time that demands our attention. It's a window where thoughts are clearer, the spirit more sensitive, and the heart more honest than at any other time. You might suddenly remember something you haven't thought of in years. A person, a promise, a mistake that still needs healing. You may feel a rush of inspiration, a deep sense of gratitude, or even an overwhelming awareness that something in your life needs to shift. But not everyone wakes with peace. Some wake with fear. Anxiety creeps in. Regrets grow louder. The future feels more uncertain in the darkness. What you were able to ignore by day becomes unavoidable at night. But here's the truth. That moment is an opportunity, a chance to surrender, to lay it all down, to trade fear for faith, doubt for hope, chaos for peace. Waking up at this hour is more than physical, it's spiritual. It's a reminder that life is more than schedules, more than goals, more than routines. There's something deeper at work, something unseen but undeniably present. Some call it intuition, others divine prompting. Whatever you call it, it's real. Throughout history, some of the most life-altering moments have come during these early morning hours. Not through noise or crowds, but through silence, stillness, and a heart ready to listen. It's in this space that people have found direction. Not through logic, but through surrender. Battles have been fought, not with weapons, but with whispered prayers. And lives have been changed quietly, but powerfully. So when you find yourself awake in these hours, don't ignore it, don't dismiss it, because something sacred may be calling your name. If waking up between 3 a.m. and 5 a.m. is truly a divine invitation, then the first thing to do is be still and listen. Because in that stillness, the deepest parts of your heart begin to stir. Be still. Be quiet. Search your heart. Because perhaps this moment, this sacred hour, is no coincidence. Maybe it's an awakening. Number 2, aligning with purpose. Purpose is not something we randomly stumble upon in life. It's not a gift neatly wrapped and waiting for us to open. Purpose is something we grow into, something we discover through struggle, through trial and error, through moments of clarity and long seasons of doubt. But make no mistake, deep inside, every person lies a seed of purpose, a calling, a reason for being, a path designed just for you. Some people recognize their purpose early in life. Others spend years, even decades, searching for it. Some embrace it boldly. Others shy away from it, afraid of what it might demand. But one truth remains. There is no real fulfillment, no lasting peace, until we align ourselves with the purpose for which we were created. The world around us constantly pulls in every direction. Expectations, obligations, distractions, each one trying to influence our decisions, shape our identities, define what success should look like. From a young age, we're told what dreams are acceptable, what paths are practical, what achievements are worth pursuing. And so many people walk through life not aligned with their true calling, but with the expectations of others. They take jobs they don't love. They live lives that leave them empty. They chase achievements that bring no real joy. They climb ladders, only to find once they've reached the top, they were leaning against the wrong wall all along. And yet, even in the middle of all this noise, there is still a quiet voice that never completely fades. A whisper that rises in solitude. A nudge that comes through restlessness. A sense deep and unshakable that there is something more. It's often in those early morning hours when we wake unexpectedly that we feel that tug most strongly. That something within us is not aligned, that we're off course. And in that moment, we're given a choice. Ignore it, and continue down the path of least resistance. Or pause, listen, and begin to search for the path we were meant to walk. Aligning with purpose doesn't mean following a perfect plan or a pre-written script. It means coming into agreement with the truest parts of who you are. It means shedding the false identities you've adopted, the masks you've worn to please others, the roles you've played that no longer reflect what burns inside of you. It means asking the hard questions. Why am I here? What was I created to do? What stirs my soul like nothing else? Most people never ask these questions, not because they don't care, but because they're afraid of the answers. Because purpose always comes with a cost. Purpose demands growth. It demands change. It demands courage. Once you've had the courage to realign with your purpose, there comes a moment when you must begin walking in it. But that journey won't always be easy. Because the moment you step into your purpose, you will face resistance. Not just from the outside world, but from within. Doubts will rise. Fears will whisper. Questions will echo. Am I good enough? Is this really for me? What if I fail? And then come the voices of others. Some won't understand. Some will question your decisions. Some may even try to discourage you, not because they're cruel, but because they fear the change you're embracing. But here's the truth. Purpose isn't about pleasing people. Purpose is about fulfilling a calling. There are people who've known their purpose for years but buried it under layers of fear, under excuses, under the lie that they're not qualified, not good enough, not ready. But the truth is, purpose doesn't require you to be ready. It only asks that you be willing to take one step and then another. Even when the path ahead is unclear, even when you feel unsure, it means trusting that what's been placed inside of you is not random. That the dreams you carry, the gifts you've been given, the passions that ignite your soul were planted there for a divine reason. And purpose isn't always about big platforms or world-changing missions. Sometimes purpose is found in the quiet, in the small moments, in how you show up for the people around you, in the kindness you extend, in the lives you touch when no one else is watching. Because purpose isn't just about what you do, it's about who you become. It's about alignment not just in action, but in identity, in your values, in the way you live, in the person you're becoming. And when you align with your purpose, life begins to feel different. Your struggles no longer feel meaningless. Your pain begins to make sense. Your past failures start revealing hidden lessons. Because purpose doesn't erase difficulty, it gives it meaning. It turns trials into testimonies. Setbacks into stepping stones, mistakes into shaping tools that mold you into who you were always meant to be. To live in purpose, you must also learn to let go. Let go of what no longer fits. Let go of the fear that holds you back. Let go of the voices that say you can't. Let go of your need for validation and the craving for certainty. Because purpose doesn't come with a roadmap. It comes with faith. With a willingness to believe that if you take the first step, the next one will reveal itself. Purpose is not just about what you do with your time. It's about waking up each day with fire in your soul, with a quiet confidence that your existence is intentional and that your life truly matters. So when that voice calls, when your soul stirs in the early hours and refuses to be silenced, listen, because purpose is calling, alignment is possible, and the life you were created to live is closer than you think. Now that you've heard the call and recognized the importance of aligning with your purpose, the next step is clear. Purpose without action is just potential, and transformation begins the moment you move. Transformation isn't a destination you reach once and for all. It's a journey, a process, and it never happens by chance. True change is the result of intentional decisions, a chain of deliberate actions that guide us from where we are to where we're meant to be. But here's the hard truth. Change is rarely easy. It demands sacrifice. It requires discipline. And it calls for the kind of courage that dares to step out of what's familiar into the unknown. Yes, it's uncomfortable. Yes, it's hard. But the beauty is, this transformation is possible for anyone, for the person willing to take just one step forward. Because no matter how much we desire change, no matter how often we think about it, dream about it, or pray for it, nothing truly changes until we act. And that brings us to the first action step in transformation, the decision to change. Change doesn't just happen. It starts when you decide that where you are is no longer where you're willing to stay. It begins when you look at your life with honest eyes and say, something has to shift. Maybe it's your mindset. Maybe it's your daily habits. Maybe it's the relationships you've outgrown, the career that drains you, or your physical and emotional health. Whatever the area, transformation always begins with a decision. One choice. One bold yes to something more. For some people, that decision is triggered by a wake-up call, a painful moment, a breakdown, a failure that shakes their identity. For others, it comes slowly through a growing awareness that they've outgrown their current season, a deep restlessness that won't go away. Either way, that decision is powerful. It's the moment you admit to yourself, I was made for more. I am capable of more, and I refuse to stay stuck. But deciding to change is just the beginning. The next step is often harder, taking full responsibility for your life. We live in a world quick to blame. It's easier to point fingers at other people, at the past, at bad luck or circumstances. But here's the truth. No one else has the power to shape your future unless you hand it to them. Transformation requires ownership. It means standing in front of the mirror and acknowledging I am where I am today because of the choices I've made. And I have the power to choose something new. That's not shame, that's empowerment. Because once you stop blaming and start taking responsibility, you unlock something powerful: growth. You become the architect of your life, the author of your next chapter. You reclaim the pen. And as you walk this road of transformation, there's something else you absolutely need: clarity of vision. Without a clear vision, it's easy to drift, easy to wander aimlessly, to get distracted by things that don't align with your purpose. As the saying goes, if you don't know where you're going, any road will take you there. So what does your vision look like? Once you've made the decision to change, taken responsibility, and gained a sense of purpose, now comes the part that separates dreams from transformation, direction, and consistency. For transformation to truly take root, you need direction. You need focus. Without it, even the strongest desire to change can slowly fade into distraction and defeat. And that direction starts with vision. Not just a short-term goal, but a vivid, compelling picture of the person you want to become and the life you're determined to live. Vision becomes your compass. It points you forward, especially when the journey gets hard, and it will get hard. Your vision must go deeper than just I want success or I want to be happy. It's about seeing your future self. the one who overcame fear, the one who didn't quit when obstacles came, the one who now walks in purpose and inspires others just by showing up in truth. That vision is powerful, because when the days feel long and doubt whispers in your ear, that vision will remind you why you started. It will reignite your fire. It will help you keep going. But once your vision is in place, you need more than inspiration. You need a plan. Transformation doesn't happen overnight, and it definitely doesn't happen by simply wishing for it. Real change requires a clear step-by-step strategy, a roadmap that takes you from where you are to where you want to be. A plan gives structure, it provides clarity, it breaks that overwhelming dream into smaller, manageable actions. It turns the impossible into doable. Let's say your vision is to transform your health. Your plan should include changes in your diet, a consistent workout routine, and a renewed mindset around discipline and self-care. If your goal is a career transformation, your plan might involve learning new skills, finding mentors, building your network, or gaining practical experience. Whatever your transformation looks like, the key is to create a plan that supports your vision and helps you move toward it one step at a time. And once that plan is set into motion, the next ingredient is crucial: consistency. Transformation is not a sprint. It's a marathon, and often a messy, uncomfortable one. There will be days when progress feels invisible, days when you want to give up, days when the old version of you seems easier to return to. But don't forget, real change takes time. Consistency isn't about perfection. It's not about getting everything right every day. It's about showing up, taking small, faithful steps, even when they seem too small to matter. Because those small steps, they add up. One healthy choice, one brave decision, one more rep, one more page, read one more prayer, whispered in the dark, repeated over time. They become a new you. Still, as you keep moving forward, expect resistance. It's a natural part of the process. Resistance will come dressed in fear, in doubt, in procrastination, in those old habits that want to keep you where you've always been. You'll feel the pull to turn back, to quit, to settle for comfort instead of growth. So what happens when you're consistent and still face resistance? That's exactly when real transformation begins. Not when it's easy, but when you choose to press forward anyway. It's in those hard moments, the ones where everything in you wants to quit, that transformation becomes real. Because true growth doesn't happen when everything is going smoothly. It happens when you push through the discomfort, when you face the internal resistance and still move forward. This is where strength is forged, where resilience is built, where character is formed. And in those moments, you have to return to your why. Why did you start this journey in the first place? What vision pulled you into this process of change? When you tap into the deeper purpose behind your transformation, you'll find the strength to keep going even when it hurts. Because the truth is simple, nothing truly meaningful comes easy. Yes, transformation is hard, but it's also one of the most rewarding journeys you'll ever take. And to stay on that path, you'll need more than just effort and consistency. You'll need self-reflection. Take time regularly to pause and look back. Ask yourself, am I moving closer to the vision I set? What's working? What needs to shift? Where am I growing? And where am I avoiding growth? This kind of honest self-assessment is powerful. It keeps you aligned. It helps you adjust course before you drift too far. And it gives you the motivation to continue, especially when progress feels slow or invisible. Another essential key to transformation: embracing discomfort. Growth lives just beyond the edges of your comfort zone. The routines, the habits, the thought patterns you've leaned on for years, they created the version of you that exists today. But the person you are becoming will require something different. That version of you is hiding in the unfamiliar, in the challenge, in the awkward first steps, in the scary yes. Transformation demands that you do things that stretch you, things that scare you, things that feel unfamiliar and uncomfortable. But it's there in those hard, stretching moments that you realize just how strong, capable, and ready you really are. And if there's one more thing transformation will always require, it's this patience. Too often, people quit just before the breakthrough. They expect instant change, overnight results, quick victories, but lasting change takes time. It needs to settle, to root, to become who you are, not just what you do. It's easy to feel discouraged when the results are slow, but don't confuse slow progress with no progress. Every small step counts. Every tiny win builds towards something much bigger. Keep showing up. Keep trusting the process. Because the small actions you take today, even the ones that seem insignificant, are building the future you'll live tomorrow. Transformation is not just about improvement. It's about discovery. It's about becoming. Every step you take, every wall you break, brings you closer to the version of yourself you were always meant to be. And here's the powerful truth. Transformation isn't just about changing what you do. It's about changing who you are. It's not a one-time event. It's a lifelong journey. A journey built on consistent, intentional action from the moment you decide to change to the moment you fully embrace responsibility for your life. After embracing discomfort, practicing patience, and building consistency, there's one final truth. We can't ignore transformation. Only becomes real when we take action daily, intentionally. You can have the clearest vision. You can create the most thoughtful, detailed plan. But without action, even the best plans will remain nothing more than good intentions. It's the daily commitment to act, even when it's hard, even when it's inconvenient, that unlocks true transformation. Each of us carries the potential for lasting change, the ability to rewrite our story, to step out of cycles we thought we were stuck in forever. But potential alone isn't enough. Wishing for change isn't enough. Hoping things will improve on their own isn't enough. It takes courage to step outside the comfort zone, discipline to stay the course when motivation fades, and resilience to rise again after every fall. The power to transform your life has never been in anyone else's hands. It's been in yours all along. When you make the decision to change, when you stop blaming and start owning your path, when you clarify your purpose and back it with intentional action, you begin paving the road toward the life you were created for. It's not about perfection. It's about progress. Each small step in the direction of your vision matters. Every time you show up, even imperfectly, you are shaping the future version of yourself. You are becoming, and with every action, every moment of courage, every choice to continue, you move one step closer to a life filled with meaning, fulfillment, and deep purpose.